Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here from Pickdawgz.com, continuing to cook up this NBA action. Y'all know what we do here on the NBA Jam Session. We go through every single game, every single day, right here for free, man. So if this is something you'll enjoy, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to hop on my premium plays, the plays that I personally have the most money on, you can scoop that up over at Pickdawgz Premium. There's a link in the description. We did drop our top play last night with the Milwaukee Bucks. Hey, they jumped out on them early. We're looking really good early. We saw the lead kind of wither away late in the game. Sixers took the lead, had a pretty good lead in the fourth. Bucks fought back, took the lead. Looked like they were going to cover, then won by one. That's the NBA. We'll get back on track on that play tonight. I really love tonight's play. It's my favorite play thus far in the NBA season. You can scoop it up, Pickdawgz Premium, or you can hop on something long-term. The best thing to do today, it's Friday. Hop on a 3-day pass. You get Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got NBA all 3 days. We got college football on Saturday. We got NFL on Sunday. And you get all those plays, every sport, when you hop on a 3-day pass. Hop on one of those. Try me out for the weekend. Let's make some money. We got a beautiful card this Friday night in the NBA. I'm super excited to talk it through with you guys. Think there's plenty of places for us to make some money. I think we're finna do just that. I'm finna attack it like we always do. Let's make some money per usual. And without further ado, man, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. All right, first game of the night, man. We got the Detroit Pistons out on the road facing the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets favored by 4 at the crib. We just saw them get a dub at the crib. They beat the Atlanta Hawks. Not all that surprising. We know the Hawks, man. They were a 50-50 team last year. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be a 50-50 team again this year. The Hornets, they were bad last year, especially second half of the season, but it was mainly due to injury. They're healthy right now. LaMelo's healthy. Gordon Hayward's healthy. Terry Rozier's healthy. P.J. Washington's healthy. He had a good game last game. So, you know, the Hornets are not that bad. They're okay. They just were banged up last year, and when their stars play, they're going to be okay. The thing is, they were underdogs last game. I would not feel comfortable laying points with the Hornets. I just wouldn't. Would I be surprised if they won this game and covered the spread? No, I wouldn't be surprised. But would I want to be there? No, I wouldn't. I would look at grabbing the points in this one with the Detroit Pistons. I like this Pistons team, man. I like them a lot. I liked them so much they were our top play the other night. First night of the NBA, well, full schedule-wise. And I like what I saw from them in that game. Cade Cunningham, he was a number 1 overall pick for a reason. Looked really good in that basketball game. I like the 1-2 punch at big with Duren Stewart. Monty Williams, I really like him as a head coach. I think he's going to pay dividends for this young Detroit Pistons team. When I think Hornets Pistons, I don't think that the Hornets are just better than the Pistons. They're, to me, on an even playing field. Getting points with the Pistons, getting them at plus money, I think is a good place to be. So give me Detroit plus the points in this one. I just don't want to lay points with the Charlotte Hornets, in all honesty. Next game up, man, we got the defending champs, the Denver Chicken Nuggets, out on the road facing the Memphis Grizzlies. Denver laying 4.5 here in this one. Hot take. I don't think the Grizzlies make the postseason this year. I think the subtraction of John Morant for those 25 games put this team too far in the hole to climb out of when he does return. Missing a top 5 guard in the NBA is something not easily overcomable. So, that's my thoughts on the Grizzlies. I think next year they're going to be right back in the mix of things. The Grizzlies, I know they play extremely great basketball at home. I also know they are accustomed to playing without John Morant. They've played good basketball, and the data says they do play good basketball without him. That was mid-season, though. To start a season, I think it's totally different, in my opinion. Here's what I'm going to do in this one, man. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm taking the better team. I'm taking the Nuggets, and I'm laying the 4.5. It's not one of my favorite plays. The Nuggets were just 25-25 straight up out on the road. The Nuggets go stupid, dummy, crazy at the crib. They go crazy at home. On the road, they're a 50-50 team. But it's still early in the year. I think they are the better team. The line is short here because the Grizzlies do play good basketball at home. I didn't really like what I saw from the Grizzlies in their first game. Bane did have a good game, but I don't know if he's enough to carry. I don't know if Jaren Jackson can stop Jokic down low. Um, I'm taking the Nuggets here. I'm not overcomplicating it. I just think they're definitely the better team. I'm getting one of the best teams in the West in my mind versus a team that's not even going to make the postseason in the Grizzlies. And I'm getting them at a short number here as well. So I'm not overcomplicating. I know Denver's not the best road team, and I know Memphis has been a really good home team. But I think it's time to go the other way, in all honesty. Give me the Nuggets. I'm going to lay the points on the road. Next game up, man, we got the New York Knicks out on the road facing the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks favored in this one, laying 2. Here's my thought process. I think this is an overreaction game. I do. I'm not going to overreact. I am going to keep a straight head, and I'm going to take the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm going to lay the 2. We know what's up with the Hawks, man. They're a 50-50 team, and what that means is they go out there, they lose a game they're not supposed to, then they come out and win a game they're not supposed to. The Knicks are the better team. The Knicks are the better team in this matchup. We just saw the Knicks go up, compete against Boston. Everybody is going to overreact to that and want to come and take them here against the Hawks team who just lost to the Charlotte Hornets on the road. But, hey, that was on the road. They're now back home. And if there's one team this Hawks team hates, it's the Knicks. We know this rivalry. These two teams played in the postseason a couple years ago. They hate each other's guts. I know the Knicks were really profitable on the road last season. One of the best road ATS teams in the NBA. But the Hawks in a bounce back spot are also really good. And I think the Hawks bounce back and get this win. I think the Knicks drop to 0-2 and then they go on a tear. I would not be surprised if the Knicks turned up and are a good team. I just think to start the year was 2 bad draws, the Celtics and the Hawks. Taking the Hawks in this one. I think they bounce back at the crib like they always do. Their shots seem to fall better at the crib. Awful loss. They're a weird team. But give me the Hawks in this one. I'm going to lay the 2 points with them at the crib. Next game up, man, we got the Miami Heat out on the road facing the Boston Celtics. Celtics laying a big number here, laying the 8, man. This is a revenge spot, as we know the Heat upset the Celtics, put them out of the postseason last year. The Celtics went reloaded this offseason, acquired Porzingis, acquired Drew Holiday, looking like one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference on paper. They jumped out on the Knicks in their first game, were looking really good. The Knicks dialed them in, and they end up pushing, and now are 0-1 against the spread. Did get the dub, but failed to cover the spread. The Heat, they jumped out to a huge lead as well. They had I want to say like an 18-point lead on the Pistons at one point in that game. Do what they usually do, like they did a lot last year at home. Played, lackadaisical basketball down the stretch. Allowed a bad team to come back in and get the cover. They almost beat them straight up. But one thing about the Heat, man, when they're playing bad teams, they kind of go through the motions. When they're playing the good teams, they're always trying to make a statement. And we just saw this. The Heat beat the Celtics straight up. 4 games out of 3. They beat them in the postseason. I understand the Celtics reloaded. And I understand that me personally, even I have the Celtics as the best team in the East. I have them coming out and making the finals this year. But even with all that being said, I'm not laying 8 with the Celtics in this one. I'm just not. No, sir, you will not catch me there. I'm taking the Miami Heat plus the points in this one. They get up, they play hard in the big games. We just saw them beat up on the Celtics, and now I'm getting this many points in my back pocket. I wouldn't even be surprised at all if the Heat beat these boys outright. I know it's a revenge spot. I don't care. I'm taking Jimmy Butler. I'm taking the Heat plus the points here in this one on the road. Next game up, y'all know who it is. It's one of our favorite money-making teams, the Thunder Buddies. They're out on the road facing the Cleveland Cavs. Cavs home favorites, laying 3.5 in this one. Cavs did open up their season with a dub. They beat the Brooklyn Nets out on the road. Wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. This team will be without Jared Allen in this game, and Darius Garland, also game-time decision. They didn't cover the spread in that last game. It ended up in a push, depending on what line you got. But for most of the day, it was, Cleveland minus the 1. They won by 1. The Thunder buddies, man. This is my thought process here. I think the Thunder are just flat out the better team. Just flat out the better team, and I'm not even going to overcomplicate this one. If the books are going to continue to give us the Thunder at the short lines or as underdogs, period, against teams that I think they've leapfrogged over the offseason, we got to get them while we can, man. I'm taking the Thunder straight up money line, and I'm taking them plus the 3.5. And I do understand that Cleveland played their best basketball at home last season. They did. But I think missing Jared Allen, I think that the Thunder got better. I think that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is better than Donovan Mitchell straight up as a player. I think the Thunder win this basketball game. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland blew this thing up by the trade deadline. I don't think Donovan Mitchell hangs around here. And like I said the other day, man, it's still the truth. I can't get out my head how Cleveland got bullied in the postseason, man. They just got bullied. And they're banged up right now. I know they played their best basketball at home last season, but how can we pass up plus money with our team? How can we continue, getting them at plus 3.5 when I think that they're the better team anyway? Hey, sign me up. Thunder buddies for life, plus the points here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Toronto Raptors out on the road facing your Chicago Bulls. Bulls favored by 2 in this one. We just saw the Bulls at home the other night. They got beat by the Thunder buddies. They got took behind the shed, 124-104. The Raptors, they got a dub at the crib over the House of Disappointment, the Minnesota Timberwolves, 97-94. Wasn't really that surprising. That was my only premium loss the other night to the Timberwolves. The Raptors historically have played their best basketball at home. We all know that. The Toronto fan base, whole country behind them, they always go crazy about their sports teams. So, in the grand scheme of things, I wasn't that surprised to see the Raptors win their home opener. I wasn't surprised to see the Bulls lose to the Thunder. I thought maybe they would put up a better fight than that. The Thunder just beat them boys down. I think this is another overreaction spot. I do. I understand why the Bulls are home favorites in this one. I know we just saw them get beat up at home, but I am going to take them here and lay the 2. I think they bounce back. This is what the Bulls always do. Get dominated one game, come back and win the next. This is a team that rarely chains wins together, but they rarely chain losses together as well. They're kind of like a lot of teams. They're 50-50. I think this is the great spot to zag. I would look at the Raptors more when they're at home. I think they're a fade on the road. I think this may be one of the worst Raptors teams in recent memory. They're going to be okay, just like most Raptors teams usually are. But on the road, I wouldn't trust them. I think this is a bounce-back spot for Chicago at the crib. I think Chicago has the 2 best players probably in this game, LaVine and DeRozan. I like Anunoby. I like Siakam. I like Scotty Barnes. But I don't know. Tough game. I'm going to take Chicago in this one. I'm going to zag in this one. I think the Raptors struggle on the road. Give me the Bulls. Laying the points. Next game up, man, we got the Houston Rockets out on the road facing the San Antonio Spurs. 2 Texas teams going at it. 2 teams that were bad last season, trying to improve on how bad they were last year. 2 teams probably that are going to be bad again, but can we see improvement? I think is the million-dollar question for these 2 teams. The Rockets, they got took behind the woodshed by the Magic. The Magic was not playing with them boys. A lot of people are high on this Rockets team. They think they're going to be good. They love the addition of Ime Udoka. They love Van Vliet and Dylan Brooks and company coming over here. They still got young talent. Can they put it together is the question for the Rockets, and how long will it take them to put it together is the question. The Spurs, on the other hand, I did like what I saw from them in Game 1. They just lost to what I think is a better team in the Mavs, a Mavs team that, needs to improve on what they did last year. They missed the postseason entirely. But we'll talk about them here in a minute. The Spurs, I did like what I saw from them in spurts. Wemby got into foul trouble early, so that kind of, limited his playing time. But when he was in there, I did like what I saw from him. He's a unicorn. He's going to be one of the best players in the NBA. I'm ready to tell you that right now. Just let him get his feet underneath him. Let him get some game time underneath him. Let him learn under Greg Pop. And the Spurs team is going to, be be just fine, in the future. Tonight, I'm still taking the San Antonio Spurs. I think they get this one done. Vassell had a really nice game. I loved his game, what I saw. Um, this is, again, not one of my favorite games on the card. I think this is a tough game. This is a 50-50 game, lines at 2. But I think the best player in the series in this game is Victor Wembanyama. And I think that, this home crowd is going to be ruckus. We saw the Spurs play well in game 1. Who says they don't play well in game 2? They just lost to a better team. I don't think that they are. I don't think that the Rockets are better than them like the Mavs were. I think this is a 50-50 game, and I think the home team gets it done. Give me the Spurs. I'm going to let it too. Next game up, man, we got the Brooklyn Nets out on the road facing my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. Man, it will be the Mavs home opener. We saw them get a dub in their first game. They beat up on the Spurs. I wouldn't say beat up, but they did win and cover in that game. I laid the points with them in that game. I know that's not a shocker. The reason I did it, though, was because I thought Victor Wembanyama had the Spurs a little overvalued. Last year, that line would have been Dallas, minus 10 or so. They end up winning by 7. So, I just thought Victor in his NBA debut had the Spurs a little overvalued. The Mavs needed to come out, make a statement to start the season after they missed the postseason last year. So that's why I ended up on the Mavs. I'll say, I really like what I saw from the Mavs in that game in certain aspects. Derek Lively, I love our young rookie, man. He almost makes up for the Mavs missing the postseason last year. I really like him. I think over the course of the season, he's only going to get better, and I think he's going to be a staple here for my team moving forward. I love the addition of Grant Williams. I think this Mavs team is going to be really, really good this year. I think they're going to be right back in the mix of things. When you have a top 3 player in the NBA, you're usually right there in the thick of things, and I think the Mavs are going to be there. Don't forget, the Mavs were in the Western Conference Finals just 2 years ago. I know they missed the postseason last year, but this team is going to be good this season. I think a top 3-4 seed in the West. All that being said, I know I'm gassing up my team. I'm taking the Nets plus the 6 in this one. I just had to get my Mavs love out. I'm taking the Nets plus the 6 in this one. I think it's probably one of the best plays on the board. I still saw, even though I love what I saw from my Mavs, I still saw eerie stretches in that game that reminded me of the team last year. And let's take it back to last year. You remember that team last year? Well, I do, because they hurt my pocketbooks tremendously as they were the worst ATS team in the entire NBA, the Dallas Mavericks. And at home, oh my God, it was terrible. This team was 12, 26, and 3 against the spread at the crib. 12, 26, and 3 against the spread at the crib last season. That's 31.6%. They were garbage against the spread last year, and I don't want to lay 6 points with them. I don't. I saw stretches in that game last night against the Spurs where it's like, hey, y'all should probably go ahead and put this team away. The Spurs would find a way to get back in it. I know they covered in the end, but I don't want to lay points with the Mavs at home here in this one. Not until they come out and show me that they're going to be able to cover decent and big spreads, kind of like this at home. Last night, 4, that was nothing. 6, it's a pretty big number. I need to see them do it first before I take them. I like this Nets team. I know they lost their first game to Cleveland. I lost it by a single point. They competed the whole way through. I think the Nets are going to be right there in the thick of things in the East. I think they compete tonight, and I think they definitely cover the point spread. Give me Brooklyn plus the points against my favorite team, the Mavs, here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Los Angeles Clippers out on the road facing the Utah Jazz. The Jazz, man, they fooled me last game. I thought they had a chance to compete with Sacramento at the crib, and I guess they did compete, but not how we needed them to. That line looked really funky for them, plus 1.5. The Jazz were a solid home team last year. They were. And I like some of the pieces there for the Jazz. I think that more often than not, they're undervalued. But I actually think coming into this season, they're overvalued. I think the Jazz, low-key, are, out of the 15 teams in the West, they're probably 13 in my mind. I think the Clippers are head and shoulders better than the Jazz. I understand that the Jazz play their best basketball at home. I usually am somebody who likes to try to take the Jazz at home in certain spots, but I felt like an idiot when I saw that the Sacramento Kings beat up on the Jazz in that game last time. And I would feel like one again if I don't take the Clippers here and they came out and beat up on the Jazz. So I'm going to take the Clippers. I'm going to lay that 3.5. They are the better team. They should come out here and beat the Jazz. Like, that's what they should do. They're healthy at the moment. Kawhi looks like he's playing. Paul George is playing. Russell Westbrook's playing. The only people that are out or the only person that's out really is Terrence Mann. So the Clippers are healthy right now. They are the better team. They should go into Utah and get this done. Would I be surprised at all if Utah won this game outright? If Utah covered the spread? No, I wouldn't. This is the Clippers. Sometimes they go through the motions. But I think the Clippers are taking this season a little more serious than in seasons past. I think that they should win this game. Come on, Clips. I'm going to take them here, laying the 3.5 out on the road. Next game up, man, we got the Orlando Magic out on the road facing the Portland Trail Blazers. Magic road favorites in this one, laying 2.5. I think this line is probably about right where it should be. Maybe even the Magic 4 or 5. I think we all can agree the Magic are the better team in this one. I'm somebody who's high on the Magic. I have the Magic firmly in the postseason in the Eastern Conference. I am really high on Wagner, really high on Banchero. We saw them put it to the Houston Rockets in their first game at home. That should be a game. If the Magic are going to take that next step this year, they have to win the games they're supposed to. They have to beat up on the teams they're supposed to, and the Blazers are exactly that. I think the Blazers are not as bad as many people think. They still got a few pieces over there, but it's early in the year, and I'm not sure if they're ready to be the team that I think they'll be later on in the season. So later on, we're going to be able to make money on the Blazers. Right now, I don't think so. We saw them get beat up by the Clippers in their first game. I would not be surprised if the Magic did that here. The Magic are a good team this year. They are a good team this year. I like the Magic. I'm going to lay the points with them here in this one, as I think they beat up on the Blazers out on the road. In our last and final matchup of the night, man, we got the Golden State Warriors out on the road facing the Sacramento Kings. Kings are favored here. They're laying 2.5 at the crib. This was one of the best playoff series I've ever seen. It was definitely one of the best last year, if not the best. I loved watching this series last year. The Kings gave the Warriors everything they could handle, and it kind of derailed the Warriors moving forward in the postseason last year. Like, their legs were dead kind of after playing the Kings. It was a hell of a series. The Kings, man, they opened up their season with a dub. They beat Utah out on the road, did it pretty dominantly. They were the best road ATS team in the league last year, so really no surprise there. They're at home in this one, playoff revenge, going up against a team that put them out, looking to light the beam on a Friday night. I see it. I see why the Kings are favored in this one, in this game. I really do. On the flip side, let's talk about the Warriors. We've already seen the Warriors once this year. They lost at home to begin their season, which was surprising. The Warriors were 30-16-1 against the spread at home last season. That was league best. 65.2% against the spread were the Warriors at home last year. The best home ATS team in the league. Like, when you bet the Warriors at home last year, more often than not, you made a good amount of money. It was crazy how night and day they were. Best home ATS team were the Warriors, but the worst road ATS team in the NBA were the Golden State Warriors. They were terrible out on the road last year. 13-34 against the spread out on the road last year were the Golden State Warriors. League worst. 27.7% against the spread were the Warriors out on the road. I cannot trust them at all until they wake up and show me something. I know it's a new year, but I don't care. Until the Warriors show me they're going to hoop on the road, I look to fade this team. 13-34 against the spread were the Warriors out on the road last year. 27.7%. The Kings working with playoff revenge as well. The Kings look good in their first game. I understand why they're favored. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Until the Warriors show me they're going to hoop on the road, I intend to fade them. I definitely will be fading them here in this one. Give me the Kings with playoff revenge at the crib. Land the points. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam session. I appreciate every last one of y'all watching this video, man. Smash that like button for your guy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to rock with me, rock with me. I got premium plays over at the site. There's a link in the description. Follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description. The jam session, it probably will not be posted tomorrow night. Hey, my Rangers are in the World Series. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be outside tomorrow night watching my guys. It is what it is. It will be posted on Saturday, though, Saturday morning. We got a good card on Saturday. I'm definitely going to be there. Of course, I'm posting. It's just probably going to be in the morning, so don't freak out if it's not posted tomorrow night. I will be there to post it Saturday, so be on the lookout for that. I appreciate all y'all watching, man. Let's smash our bookies up on a Friday. Let's make this a good weekend. Let's make it a money-making Friday. Let's make it a money-making weekend. See y'all soon, man. It's been your guy. I'm out of here.